What if I told you that right now your blood pressure could be killing you and you wouldn't even feel it? Today, we need to talk about a silent killer, one that is affecting more and more young people. It rarely gives anyone it until suddenly it strikes like a thief in the night. I recently got a call from an old friend, Mark, a 40-year-old man in his prime. He was on his way to work when, out of nowhere, he collapsed. He couldn't move the left side of his body. He had suffered a stroke. Then, just a few days later, a patient of mine walked into my office. She wanted me to check her heart. I was curious about her sudden interest to get a checkup. So I asked, "Why now?" And she answered, she had just lost her husband. Musa was only 42 years old. One evening, he collapsed suddenly, lost control of his right side, and couldn't speak. He was rushed to the hospital, but passed on just some few hours later. Now, here's the connection. Both men were young, active, and seemingly healthy, but they also had one thing in common: hypertension. Mark never knew he had it until after his stroke. Musa had seen occasional high readings, especially when he had malaria, but since he felt fine, he never took it seriously. He did nothing about it, and in the end, that cost him his life. These stories are tragic, but here's the good news: they were preventable. And that's why you need to watch this video till the end. Today, I'll show you how high blood pressure leads to stroke, why young people are at risk, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself. Let's get started. Now that we've had Mark and Musa's stories, let's take a step back and talk about what a stroke really is. A stroke happens when part of the brain stops getting blood supply. Without blood, brain cells begin to die within minutes, leading to permanent damage, disability, or even death. There are two main types of stroke, and both are medical emergencies. The first type, which we call ischemic stroke, happens when an artery supplying blood to the brain gets blocked or narrowed. This can be caused by a blood clot or a buildup of fatty deposits within each lumen. Think of it like a pipe getting clogged. If water can't flow through, everything beyond the blockage dries up. In the brain, this means oxygen is cut off and brain cells start to die. Ischemic strokes make up about 87% of all stroke. But there is another, more dangerous type that we must talk about: a stroke caused by bleeding in the brain. The second type, which we call hemorrhagic stroke, happens when a blood vessel in the brain bursts, causing bleeding inside the brain. Imagine a dam bursting. Instead of a controlled flow of water, everything floods uncontrollably. In the brain, this extra blood damages brain tissue, leading to swelling and dangerous pressure buildup. This type of stroke is less common, but far more deadly. Now, both types of stroke are life-threatening, and both can cause serious disability or death if not treated immediately. Because stroke happens suddenly, the symptoms appear without warning. If you or someone near you experiences any of these signs, do not wait. Go to the hospital immediately. 1. Sudden weakness or numbness in the face, the arm or leg, especially on one side of the body. 2. Sudden difficulty speaking or understanding speech. Words may come out slurred or completely jumbled. 3. Sudden trouble seen in one or both eyes. Vision may become blurred or blacked out. 4. Sudden loss of balance, dizziness or trouble walking. It may feel like the ground is shifting beneath you. Then 5. Sudden severe headache with no known cause. Often described by people who have experienced it as the worst headache of my life. These symptoms can be terrifying, but here is something even scarier. In many cases, the body actually warns us before a major stroke occurs. Now, you've probably heard of a heart attack, but did you know you can also have a brain attack? A transient ischemic attack, or TIA for short, is often called a mini stroke because it looks and feels exactly like a real stroke. But the difference is, in a TIA, the blockage is temporary, so the symptoms disappear within minutes or hours. Many people ignore a TIA because they feel fine afterwards, but that's a huge mistake. A TIA is the brain way of saying a major stroke is coming. Now, any of these stroke symptoms I just mentioned can happen during a TIA. The only difference is that they go away, but that does not mean you are safe. If you or someone you know experiences these symptoms, even for just a few minutes, please do not ignore them. Get checked by a doctor immediately, because when it comes to stroke, early action can save your life. So, what's the number one cause of stroke? It is hypertension. Hypertension or high blood pressure means the force of blood against your artery walls is too high. Over time, this silently damages your blood vessels, especially in the brain. And here's the scary part. Most people with high blood pressure feel perfectly fine. Many don't even know they have it until they suffer a stroke. I've had many patients who have had this experience, and this is also exactly what happened to Mark. He never checked his blood pressure, and by the time he collapsed, it was too late to prevent the stroke. Doctors recommend that your blood pressure should be below 120/80 mmHg. That is if you are not a known hypertensive. And according to the American Heart Association and the American College of Cardiology, if your blood pressure reading is consistently above 130/80 mmHg, you have hypertension, and your risk of stroke doubles. That's why knowing your blood pressure early and taking action can actually save your life. For years, strokes were considered a disease of older patients or older adults. But today, we are seeing a shocking rise in stroke cases among young people, even those in their 20s, 30s, and early 40s. So what's happening here? Why are people who should be in the prime of their lives suddenly suffering strokes? The answer lies in how our modern lifestyle has changed. Let's break it down. High blood pressure is the number one cause of stroke, and the scariest part is many young people don't even know they have it. It used to be that hypertension was an old person's disease, but today we are seeing more 20 and 30-year-olds diagnosed with high blood pressure. Why is this so? Because of the lifestyle changes which I'm about to talk about. Our diets today are radically different from those of past generations. We eat more processed foods, high sodium, high fat foods than ever before. Think about it. Fast food, instant noodles, chips, sodas, and ultra-processed snacks have become everyday meals instead of occasional treats. And what's the problem with this? These foods are packed with salt, and too much salt raises blood pressure. Over time, this silently damages arteries, setting the stage for stroke. And let's not forget about sugar. Excess sugar leads to obesity, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, all of which increase stroke risk. Compared to previous generations, we move less than ever before. Many jobs today involve sitting for 8 to 12 hours a day. After work, many of us sit again to watch TV, scroll through our phones, or play video games. Regular movement keeps the heart and blood vessels healthy, but when we don't move, blood flow slows down, increasing the risk of blood clots, high blood pressure, and obesity, all of which can trigger a stroke. Your body, the human body, wasn't designed to sit all day, but in today's world, that is exactly what most of us do. Life today is more stressful than ever. Work pressures, financial struggles, social media, and constant digital overload keep our stress levels high. When we are stressed, our bodies release cortisol and adrenaline, which raises blood pressure. Over time, chronic stress damages arteries and increases stroke risk. And then there is sleep. Many young people don't sleep enough due to late night work, social media, or insomnia. Lack of sleep contributes to high blood pressure, obesity, and irregular heart rhythms, all of which will increase the stroke risk. We all know that smoking is bad for us, but do you know that even light smoking dramatically increases stroke risk? Smoking damages arteries, makes blood more likely to clot, and increases atherosclerosis, all of which can lead to stroke. And let's talk about alcohol. Many young people drink excessively on weekends, but heavy drinking can cause sudden spikes in blood pressure and increase the risk of hemorrhagic stroke. A drink here and there might seem harmless, but over time it actually adds up. Many young people have undiagnosed medical conditions that quietly increase stroke risk, especially diabetes and heart disease. Diabetes damages blood vessels over time, making strokes twice as likely. And conditions like atrial fibrillation, which is an irregular heartbeat, increases stroke risk 5 times. But many young people don't even know they have it. The problem? Most people don't go for routine checkups. Many young adults think, I feel fine, so I must be healthy. But stroke can strike even when you feel perfectly fine, just like in Mark that we talked about earlier. The world has changed, and with it, our risk for stroke. The foods we eat, the way we live, and the stress we carry are putting young people in danger. But here's the thing, stroke is preventable. And one of the biggest ways to prevent it is controlling high blood pressure. We've talked about why strokes are happening in young people, but here's the good news. Most strokes can actually be prevented. You don't have to be another statistic. You can take control of your own health and reduce your stroke risk starting today. Here's how. High blood pressure is the #1 cause of stroke, and most young people who have it don't even know. That's why it is called the silent killer. If you haven't checked your blood pressure recently, please do it today. Go to a clinic or use a home BP monitor. If your numbers are consistently above 130/80, it's time to take action. Our modern diet is full of processed food, too much salt and too much sugar, and this is fueling high blood pressure, obesity and stroke risk. Simple changes can make a big difference. Eat more fruits, vegetables, lean proteins and whole grains. Cut down on fast food, soda and excessive alcohol, and also drink plenty of water. Remember, food is medicine. What you eat today affects your health tomorrow. Sitting for long hours every day is also dangerous. It slows circulation, increases blood flow, and raises blood pressure. The solution to this is move more. Aim for at least 30 minutes of activity daily. Even simple things like taking the stairs, stretching, or walking after meals can help. Find an activity you enjoy. Could be dancing, cycling, swimming, or hitting the gym. Your heart and brain will thank you. Stress is one of the biggest hidden causes of high blood pressure. The more stressed we are, the more our blood pressure spikes, and over time this can damage arteries. Find ways to manage stress. Deep breathing, meditation, prayer, journaling, or even just taking breaks from social media. And don't forget about sleep. Less than 6 hours of sleep per night quadruples your stroke risk. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of good sleep. Your brain needs it to function properly. Smoking damages blood vessels and doubles your risk of stroke, even if you only smoke occasionally. If you smoke, now is the time to quit. And what about alcohol? Too much drinking, especially binge drinking, causes sudden spikes in blood pressure, which can trigger a stroke at any age. So limit alcohol, quit smoking. These two choices alone can add years to your life. If you experience sudden weakness, trouble speaking, or vision loss, even briefly, don't ignore it. This could be signs of a mini stroke, and there is serious warning. Get checked immediately. Don't wait until it's too late. Stroke is rising in young people, but it doesn't have to be you. Now you know the facts, you know the risk, and more importantly, you know how to protect yourself. But here's the thing, this information can save lives, and right now, so many people don't know they are at risk. That's why I need you to do the following. Like this video so more people can see it. Share it with your friends and family. You never know who might need this information. Also, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss more life-saving health tips. Every like, every share, and every subscriber helps spread awareness. Together, we can prevent strokes and save lives. Stay informed, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.